important matters. Let's convene this hearing. And today, this is a motu proprio hearing on the output of PSA in regards to phlegms. And we view that this is a very important survey that was conducted. And considering that this survey period used different methodology, well, the same methodology, but they changed the definition of basic literacy. They changed the definition for basic literacy and functional literacy. So with that, before we continue, we will direct the committee secretary to acknowledge our resource persons for today.
Good morning, sir. I'm covering for Comsec Hazel in today's hearing. Joining us for today's public hearing are as follows. From the Department of Education, Curriculum and Teaching, ASEC Jerome Buenviaje, Dr. Marilyn Siao, Dr. Rosalina Villaneza, Mr. Enrico Mendoza, Mr. Roderick Corpus. From Operations, we have ASEC Dexter Galban. From the Teacher Education Council Secretariat, we have Dr. Jenny Hoxon. And from the Department of Economic Planning and Development, DepEd, we have Ms. Yuko Lisette Domingo. From the Department of Health, we have Dr. Manuel Ballesteros. From the Department of Social Welfare and Development, we have Ms. Rosalie Dagulo. From the Department of Agriculture, Philippine Carabao Center, PCC, we have Ms. Rowena Galang. From the Department of Agriculture, National Dairy Authority, we have Attorney Marcus Antonius Andaya. From the Department of Interior and Local Government, we have Mr. Albert Dominic de los Santos. From the Early Childhood Care and Development, ECCD Council, we have Ms. Maria Teresa Medina, Ms. Naprel Dacudao. From the Philippine Statistics Authority, PSA, we have Mr. Adrian Cerezo and Ms. Jocelyn Abrenica. From the National Nutrition Council, we have Ms. Maria Lee Alpuerto. And from the Philippine Normal University, we have Dr. Maria Azela Tamayo. Everyone has been acknowledged, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Committee Secretary. And like I mentioned, the 2024 phlegms is quite unique because we added 208 million in order to further target the survey all the way down to the provincial level. Before, when phlegms was conducted, in the past, it was only up to regional level. And it was very difficult for government, including policymakers like us, to recommend intervention programs because regional level is quite big. No? Some regions will have 3 to 6 provinces, and it's very difficult to come up with targeted interventions. So in 2024, we allocated 200, one of the interventions of the Senate is to allocate 208 million pesos to drill down all the way to provincial level and also highly urbanized cities. And this is very important because now we have data that our governors and mayors can use in order to address illiteracy in their own localities. And this is quite a very important survey because now we can come up with intervention programs, especially coming 2026. We want to discuss this here formally so that when the budget season comes in, we can allocate budget to areas that need it the most, especially in addressing illiteracy in their locality. And admittedly, I've seen the presentation of the PSA, but I want this to be a formal discussion so that we will also hear recommendations and suggestions from other resource persons. We would like to also hear their comments on this new definition of the new definition of basic literacy and functional literacy. And we also want to hear your opinion on how to address overall illiteracy in our country. It's been a challenge, admittedly, because our country is quite big and our population is quite substantial. And addressing illiteracy in a archipelagic nation is also quite difficult because you also have to look for those people who need the intervention the most. No? So how to locate them, how to encourage them to participate in our intervention program is quite a challenge. We also have an agency here, the Literacy Coordinating Council, who's been tasked to address literacy in our country. And I would use this opportunity also to conduct an oversight over their performance and see whether their mandate is being performed, their mandate is being addressed. And at the end of the day, the most important here is how do we address illiteracy in our country, considering that we have a specialized agency or a specialized unit solely tasked to address illiteracy in our country. So with that, we will start off with a presentation from the PSA on FLEMS. FLEMS stands for Functional Literacy Education and Mass Media Survey. And it's been conducted every 5 years. We're also looking to reduce it to maybe 3 years, no? So that we can have responsive data and responsive interventions on a short time period. No? So we'll start off with the presentation from PSA, and then later on we'll hear from the various government agencies their opinion on this presentation. All right, so we call on the PSA, Mr. Adrian Cerezo, to start off with their presentation on FLEMS.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chair, to our colleagues from the trifocal agencies and all the other invited agencies here, all those who are in this hearing. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. We're now going to present the preliminary results of the 2024 Functional Literacy Education and Mass Media Survey. Next slide, please. In this presentation, as the chair said, we're going to provide an overview of the 2024 FLEMS, particularly on the definition, coverage, and the parts of the methodology. We're going to discuss briefly on it. And then, of course, we're going to present the base results for the basic and functional literacy, particularly by age group and by region, and also the top 5 performing provinces and HUCs for both basic and functional literacy. And we're going to present also a comparison of the literacy rates among Asian countries. So, Mr. Chair, as you have already intimated, the FLEMS aims to gather data on basic literacy, functional literacy, digital literacy, and mass media exposure, and other related data information to education, relevant to education and literacy. For this hearing, Mr. Chair, we're just going to present the results on basic literacy and functional literacy. That's why we called it a preliminary. This round is now the 7th in a series of literacy surveys, usually conducted every 5 years, as you have stated. But per PSA Board Resolution 2016 series of 2024, this is now going to be conducted every 3 years. So our next round for this survey will be on 2027. And also starting this survey round, the released literacy data is based on the results of individual tests done for each member of the sample households, no longer for as perceived by a proxy respondent. So all in all, for the gathered information on literacy, 572,910 individuals were tested, taken from 177,656